I wasn't always the kind of man who picked fights with HOA presidents. 3 years ago, all I wanted was quiet. Just the sound of gulls, the creak of dock ropes, and the rhythm of a tide that didn't care about human nonsense. After 24 years in the Navy, most of them spent fixing electronics in storm-tossed ships. I'd learned to appreciate silence more than applause. When my wife, Sarah, passed away from cancer, I inherited just enough from my Uncle Pete to buy his old cottage on Sunset Cove, a sleepy Oregon harbor where the air tasted like salt and freedom. That house wasn't fancy. Weather-beaten cedar shingles, a tiny workshop that always smelled like varnish and diesel, and a narrow dock stretching into water so clear it looked like glass. But it had something priceless: peace. And then there was her, my boat. A decommissioned Coast Guard cutter I found through a government surplus auction, half sunk in bureaucracy and rust. Most folks saw a pile of scrap metal. I saw purpose. For 3 years, I rebuilt her from the keel up, wiring, sanding, welding, polishing, until her brass shone like morning sunlight. I named her the Sentinel, after Sarah's favorite word, protector. Every plank I restored felt like healing a piece of myself. Sunset Cove was small, the kind of place where neighbors shared crab traps and borrowed tools. You'd hear kids laughing near the marina, retirees swapping stories over coffee, and the occasional sound of a distant foghorn echoing through the hills. Sure, there was an HOA, but for a while it barely existed. Just a few retirees making sure the trash bins weren't left out too long. No drama, no power struggles, just peace. Then, one summer, the moving trucks arrived. A white BMW, designer luggage, and a woman in spotless white capris stepped out, scanning the neighborhood like she already owned it. Her sunglasses reflected the harbor like a mirror hiding something colder underneath. Her name was Priscilla Hartwell, though most people started calling her Karen before she even unpacked. At first, she smiled at everyone. By the time she finished running for HOA president, that same smile had turned into a weapon.